Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on C21 and Dell Technologies AI use case projects. My name is Katina Popolkis, and I am the Senior Education Strategist for Dell Canada. And we're here today to share some incredible stories from our AI use case project. Please note, due to some technical difficulties, we had to re-record the opening and closing of this webinar, but we've put it together for you so you can enjoy. So welcome to how we are talking about our AI use case project, integrating AI into education and transforming learning. We will start with a land acknowledgement.
I would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we are and can each in our own way try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration.
Thank you. So let's get into it. This all started with C21 and Dell Technologies coming together back in May of 2024. C21 has already put out a report around the future of AI in K-12 education. We met as a group at the University of Calgary, where, of course, everyone was grappling with how do we deal with AI in K-12 education. And so as we were talking, some ideas were being shared, excitement abounded, and we came up with this partnership with C21 and Dell Technologies and these AI use cases. And the whole vision of the project, how do we transform education through AI to enhance student achievement, support educator and student well-being, as well as improve administrative efficiencies? And you might say, well, why do we have to do this? Here's the reality and the headlines that we have been seeing across the country and as well as around the world. I'd also like to just refer to a quote by Andreas Schleicher, who's the Director for Education and Skills at OECD. And humans are really great at inventing new tools, but we don't always use them wisely. So more than ever, we need to work together to try and make sure that we're doing this in a positive, ethical way as we embrace these tools in education. So that's what we did over the past year. And we now have a site where all of these use case teams have a dedicated page. Each of the pages tells the story in a PDF format, video, as well as a podcast. So you can consume any of these stories the way that you best like to take your professional learning. Now, today, we are going to be learning about the story behind Ottawa Catholic School Board. And today we have Heather Builder. She is a K-12 learning technologies consultant with the Ottawa Catholic School Board, where she has been an educator for 13 years. As a facilitator for the AI use case project, Heather connects with OCSB staff to explore how they were using AI to enhance their roles. She is passionate about collecting and sharing these innovative practices to inspire and inform others in the field. So without further ado, welcome, Heather, and thank you very much for sharing your AI use case story. Over to you, Heather.
Thank you. So huge thank you for having me here today. So grateful for the opportunity to share our journey thus far at Ottawa Catholic. We've been blessed with some exceptional leadership, like you just alluded to in your intro, that have afforded us the ability to really innovate and challenge our practice here. So today I'm going to share a little bit about what that journey looks like. I have tried to ensure that there's time towards the end to answer any questions that may come up about any of the initiatives or experiences that I'm sharing with you today, and or how you can employ this at your own school board. So I am part of a phenomenal team of learning technologies, consultants, coordinators, and our wonderful superintendent, Jeff Edwards, who has joined us here today. There's also our coordinators, Rob Long and Bill Corcoran. And then I am one of 3 K-12 consultants. Our role as consultants is to support educators and students within the system in leveraging the digital tools that we have at our disposal and moving towards objectives and board vision. So a little bit of information about the OCSB community. So we have over 3,000 active educators, or teachers rather, in our system, and over 9,000 staff members. So that includes our educational assistants, our ECEs, and non-educator staff members. Including our eLearn students, we have over 55,000 students now. We just tipped those numbers this year. So we are a relatively large school board, still learning what that means comparatively speaking. And our schools, there are 94 distinct schools in our board, including elementary, high school, virtual, and intermediate, as well as some adult education opportunities. So when ChatGPT first entered the educational scene in November of 2022, it was clear that we needed to respond and we needed to have a plan of action. We treated our first year very much as a year of learning, an opportunity to grow, to ask questions, to conduct research, and better understand the implications and applications of these digital tools. During that time, we also led professional development that helped us dig into these tools and how they might be used in an educational forum. On October 2023, we presented our findings and our plan to the Board of Trustees. This gave us a sense of accountability and helped guide our direction and clarify our plans moving forward. We partnered in February of 2024 with ALP, and this gave us the opportunity to kind of dig into what it is we wanted our board to do with regards to AI and how we wanted to respond to us. It was a really great visioning opportunity that let us collaborate interdepartmentally with educators and non-educators within the board and at our central building. We also engaged in several AI pilots, which I will speak to in a little bit more detail moving forward, to help inform our selection of AI tools. Our partnership with ALP and that kind of starting point for us led to the development of our staff toolkit. This toolkit was launched towards the end of, June 2024. And has proven to be an invaluable resource to our educators and system staff. Within this toolkit, we offer lots of resources to help guide educators and staff in their leveraging of this digital tool. But most importantly, our guiding principles. So that first day, that interdepartmental collaboration with ALP and different departments within the board led to the development of our guiding principles. These guiding principles underpin every decision and every kind of step we take with regards to AI from that point forward. It is to prioritize the humane and ethical use of AI, to focus on education and learning, so in leveraging it in a way that improves and innovates student learning experiences and improves efficiencies for our district, to champion equity and justice, acknowledging that there is inherent bias with AI and taking steps to curb that, the negative implications of that. We also want to ensure that our staff and students are transparent, that they are clear when they are using it. A great example of this is in AI translated documentation that is used to support our non-English speaking community members, and being clear when it has been used. We also stress the importance of safeguarding privacy, security, and data protection, ensuring that the tools we have selected are compliant with our governing laws, with our policies, and ensure the privacy and security of all users. Since their creation, these guiding principles have been developed into 2 student-friendly versions. These guiding principles do not just apply to our staff members, they are applied equally to our students. And this underpins how our students are expected to engage with our AI tools and be transparent with their work moving forward. These resources have all been linked within this presentation. So should you wish to explore them further or review them or ask follow-up questions, you'll have access to all of them within the presentation. Over the past 2 years, we have made some significant updates to our digital citizenship lessons. These lessons have been an integral part of our education through K through 12 for the last, well over 10 years. And it's a scaffolded approach to teaching digital citizenship lessons to our students. The last 2 summers, we updated these resources to align with the 5 guiding principles of digital for good and to integrate AI literacy within the lessons. These lessons are age appropriate. They were designed in collaboration with other departments to ensure that the messaging is consistent with curriculum expectations and developmental stages for each student. We also developed AI literacy through the creation of tech agreement lessons. These lessons were designed to be administered or delivered at the beginning of every school year in every class and at the beginning of every semester at the high school level. These lessons facilitate the discussion between classroom, teacher, and students about the ethical and acceptable use of digital tools like AI in their classroom. They're designed to be interactive and adapt to the unique needs of each classroom and include a chatbot that has been trained on our guiding principles to help students create a clear set of expectations and norms that align with our OCSB guiding principles. When it comes to assessment and evaluation, there were significant concerns that were raised by the system with regards to academic integrity. Our A&E committee met regularly and reviewed these challenges and developed an academic integrity guidelines that include the use of AI. They also built a chatbot that's trained on all of our documentation to support educators in understanding when and where academic integrity challenges were present and how to respond effectively and in accordance with our guidelines. An integral part of our process has been our AI pilots. We knew very early on that we wanted to have safe and secure tools that our educators and students alike could use to support their learning. In the year of 2023 to 2024, we began several different pilots to evaluate the effectiveness of various tools. The first one we started was Magic School. Magic School was an early front runner and really easy and accessible for our educators. We had several who used it and gave us really pertinent feedback about their experiences and what they liked about it. Our second pilot was in partnership with Brisk Teaching. This is an extension that lays itself over the Google ecosystem and allows educators to create relevant content for their classroom practice and even student-facing assistance to help students delve deeper into content. The third pilot was with Quizizz. Quizizz has some fantastic AI integration that allows for the generation of content that's designed to align with Ontario curriculum expectations and support students in a fun and engaging way. Our fourth pilot was with SchoolAI. SchoolAI is a collection of 3 different tools. The first being assistants. These are chatbots that are pedagogically trained and designed to support educators in kind of a co-teacher back and forth mentality without the stress of prompt crafting knowledge. They also offer tools to generate and create content aligned with Ontario curriculum expectations and for the unique needs of each classroom. And then their third function is the use of spaces. Spaces are custom chatbots that educators can create and then share with their students in a safe walled garden scenario. Our last pilot was Gemini for Workspace. While all of our educators and students now 13 plus have access to Gemini as a standalone. The integration of Gemini into Workspace was something that we have piloted with our leadership members. So this includes principals, select central staff members in order to build efficiencies in their workflow. These pilots were really interesting and informative. We saw great uptake from our educators and got insightful ideas about how these tools were being leveraged in their classrooms to facilitate and encourage learning. We took their feedback, our educator or system feedback, back to these vendors and worked in partnership with them to improve the tools and ensure that they met the expectations and needs of our staff members. Since the beginning of AI in education, we have delved into a ton of different professional development opportunities for our staff, whether that was a book club such as Digital for Good at the very beginning, a 4-part series exploring the implications of assessment and evaluation, or of ChatGPT or AI for assessment and evaluation, presentations to central staff members and leadership. We participated in our own professional development by attending conferences or completing certifications and offered these to interdepartmental partners. I'd say probably the most impactful of these professional development opportunities were our LT summits. We hosted 2 of these, one in the fall and one in the spring, where educators could share how they were leveraging AI tools in their own practice with a broader audience. It was a half-day, highly well attended on a weekend, on a Saturday, where teachers came together and celebrated and shared all of these amazing ways they're using AI. Another really impactful PD opportunity has been our Lunch and Learns. We have conducted Lunch and Learns at all of our high schools this year, teaching these educators or exposing these educators to AI. And by the end of this year, we will have visited every single school in our school board to deliver some sort of AI PD. Principals have been really creative in their release time and have actually used Code 80 Days and other central PD to facilitate deeper exploration of digital tools, and those participating in pilots have delved further as well. These are some images from our PD journey. So you see the AI Summit up here with our wonderful Julian Daher facilitating a student panel. The student panel provided us with great insights into the student experience with regards to AI and informed our practice moving forward. Whole system PD, student feedback sessions. So when we collected feedback as part of those pilots, we didn't just collect feedback from educators. We wanted the end user to be involved as well. Students have a huge invested interest in pilots, and so getting their opinions and their feedbacks was integral to the pilot process. Here is Julian and I at a staff meeting at one of our schools that then spilled over into some Code 80 release time, where these teachers came and joined us for an in-depth analysis of some of the tools. Lunch and Learns, these have been our most popular, covering every single school within the OCSB between the 3 of us by the end of June. Our student pilots, we've had some wonderful groups that have organically formed at some of our schools where students are exploring digital tools and then sharing their learning with others. So they have presented about Canva, they have used SchoolAI, and then they share their learning with students. And then in the future, they're looking to partner with teachers as well. Parent outreach. We know that parents are invested in the well-being of their students and their children, and partnering with the parent community has been really important. This is an image of our team presenting at a CSPA event where they were able to share kind of our plans with regards to AI with the parent community and hear their feedback. We have future events coming up at some of our elementary schools where we're going to delve deeper and review these issues again. And lastly, my personal favorite, our Student Senate. Our students from across all of our high schools get together on a regular basis. These are members of our Senate, and we've had the opportunity to join them and get real feedback from them about their experiences with digital tools in our schools, and specifically those experiences with AI. So that year of learning has brought us to our AI use cases. So we ran these pilots, we offered PD, we selected several tools that we wanted to move forward. I should clarify that we ended up purchasing based on the feedback from our system and our analysis of the data. We purchased Brisk, Quizizz, SchoolAI for all staff. So they all have access to premium versions of these 3 tools. And Gemini for Workspace is now available to those in leadership. So we learned a lot about the tools. We delivered the PD, but we knew that the way we wanted to use these tools, or we thought about using these tools, may not be the only ways that teachers are using them. We continued to hear about remarkable experiences of teachers across the board leveraging AI with their students in really intentional and purposeful ways. And we wanted to collect these examples in a localized place that could be shared with others as a source of inspiration, innovation, and guide them or encourage them in their own exploration of these tools. So the AI use cases were born, and we collected video submissions from certain teachers who had shared with us, or we had heard about innovative practices with AI, and then housed them all together in one single landing page. I'll drop the link to this landing page in the chat should you wish to check it out for yourself. So these use cases were submissions from people who are in education, who are classroom teachers. We have submissions from educational assistants, from superintendents, including our very own Jeff Edwards. We've had submissions from office assistants or exec assistants. So it really is all facets of our board and how they're leveraging AI to support their workflow. A few videos that I think are really exceptional and worth highlighting were this one here.
Hi, I'm Erin Doak, and I am a grade 9 geography and religion.
Sorry. So this one here from Erin Doak. She is a high school teacher within our board, and I will play her video and allow you to see how she's leveraging AI in her classroom to support her students.
Hi, I'm Erin Doak, and I am a grade 9 geography and religion teacher at Sacred Heart High School. These are D-stream classrooms, which means there's a wide range of learning needs that I have to meet on any given day. There are many days that I wish I could multiply myself. And once I discovered the sidekick function in SchoolAI, I realized I could. Let me explain. I had a grade 9 student who was really struggling with one of the assignments. It was one of these assignments where they had to apply concepts, do research, and apply it to an assignment at the end of a unit. I spent 2 days working with this student, trying to prompt them, brainstorm, help them think critically about the material to help them move along in the assignment, to no success. So I sent the student up to resource, and at the end of the period, the resource teacher called me and said, I tried, but I really can't get anything out of him. He's really struggling with this. And after 17 years in education, I have to admit I was stumped. And that's when I thought, I'm going to try AI. So I used the SchoolAI sidekick function, and I programmed the bot. I told it what to do. I told it to help the student think critically, to answer questions that would clarify key concepts that we learned in class. And I described the student's profile. I also asked it to speak to the student in an informal tone. The resource teacher called and said he was completely engaged with the bot. It sort of gamified the activity and had him engaging with the material, and he didn't even realize he was learning. He was able to take that conversation he had with the bot, and the assignment was done the next day successfully. For me, it's really not about the tool, it's about the outcome. To see the student have success and to be able to use AI as a scaffolding tool or to give students a thought partner helps me as a teacher because it's like duplicating me, but also helps the students feel included and successful in the course.
I'm hoping the audio came through okay on that. Erin is a remarkable educator, but she's doing everything we want here. She is leveraging digital in an intentional and purposeful way to support the needs of her student. If you look over on the left-hand side here, originally with these use cases, we sought out to find one example for each of the possible use cases that we had identified for leveraging AI in the system. But what we found is as video submissions started coming in and we started talking to teachers and talking to staff members, there wasn't any example that didn't overlap with another. And while we started trying to match these videos with one and at the cost of another, we quickly came to realize that these submissions highlighted another strength within AI. They don't just do one thing. Erin's example here is showing how it can be effectively leveraged to support lesson planning and learning activities, assessment and evaluation practices. SchoolAI has native speaker translation in it, so language translation is built into this tool. Data analysis. Teachers have full reports as to how the student has performed in conversation with the chatbot. Studying and tutoring support. Reading support and text differentiation. So these two here, we're really seeing democratized access to AI with Erin's example and integrated differentiation that meets the student where they are and helps move them towards success. We also see how this can support executive functioning, getting the student to complete a task that has been assigned to them. Accessibility is built into SchoolAI with their reading, easy read mode for the chatbot, their ability to have text to speech and speech to text integrated directly into the chatbot. With regards to time saving, clearly this was a challenging situation where a considerable amount of time could have been spent getting the student to the same place. However, this ended up being a more effective and efficient place where the student could ask questions and engage with this chatbot in a low risk and safe environment. And lastly, crucial skill development. This student has also developed their digital skills in the sense that they know how to effectively and intentionally leverage this tool to support their own learning.
Hello, my name is Dina.
So the second example is an elementary teacher. This particular teacher is also equally remarkable and was an integral part of our Samaritans on the Digital Road rewrite. So in this situation, she's leveraging the Canva Media Magic tool to help develop critical thinking within her students. I'll let her video speak for itself.
Connors, and I'm a grade 3 educator at St. Philip's School. My students and I explored deepfake images and videos through the grade 3 Samaritans on the Digital Road lesson on Informed. We extended this lesson by having students create their own deepfake images using Canva AI image generator. This task focused on crucial skill development. Teaching students about AI is an essential skill. We have a responsibility to prepare students for a world where AI is a common tool and to provide them with opportunities to learn and use AI. The task focused on critical thinking as students created their own deepfake images. We further applied our critical thinking skills and explored a compiled slideshow of images where students had to decipher which was a deepfake, an AI image that was created by their peers, and which was not. At the end of this task, I asked my students, what does this activity tell you about images or videos that you find online? One of my students shared, I think we need to look more carefully at what we see online. Exactly.
What I love about Dana's example here is that she's emphasizing critical thinking. She is seeking to leverage AI in a way that supports the development of critical thinking in her students, which is something that aligns with our board priority. Early on, it was identified that critical thinking is going to be one of those competencies that is more important than ever. And our board has invested heavily in developing lessons and resources to support critical thinking in the age of AI. Again, Dana's example highlights how AI integrated lessons go beyond just one facet or one use case. Here she has lesson planning and learning. She's developing creativity with AI generated images. She's encouraging accessibility with those features that are now seamlessly integrated into tools. She's saving time in generating resources. And most importantly, in this case, she is developing crucial skills in AI literacy and also in critical thinking. We continue to collect use cases and submissions as we continue to learn from the system. We are learning every day from the educators and staff members at the OCSB how they are leveraging AI in unique and innovative ways, and look forward to continuing to learn from them. So much so that we've actually brought the use case project into our OCSB certified educator. This is a certification that we developed in-house and in collaboration with our vendors. So participants are joining us, and we have over 225, correct me if I'm lying, Jeff, educators and staff members who are joining us in the evenings on a bi-weekly basis in order to learn and explore about these different tools. So far, we've already had our Google Gemini session, our Brisk session, and our Quizizz session. Participants are able to attend a live virtual event in the evening or complete the certification that the vendors have created for each of their tools. And at the end, they will have a collection of 5 certifications, one from each of our vendors, as well as our OCSB AI Certified Educator badge. Moving forward, we continue to learn from students, staff, parents, guardians, community members through sentiment surveys. We are analyzing those surveys to determine impact. In the age of AI, it's been really exciting because we're now able to analyze that data in terms of qualitative and quantitative more effectively and efficiently. We continue with our software evaluation process of both artificial intelligence and non-AI tools. And we continue to create supports and resources to help guide our educators in leveraging these tools effectively. We have expanded our high school AI PD to include all elementary schools and have organized lunch and learn visits for any schools that have not received any intentional AI PD by the end of this year. Our Google administrator is working in partnership with Google to develop a chatbot that has been trained on all things OCSB, where parents, guardians, community can pose questions in natural language and obtain responses to meet their needs. So I wanted to intentionally leave time for questions because I know that this often generates a lot of questions or people looking for more information. So I will open it up to those now if anyone has any.
First of all, thank you so much for this great presentation. It's cool to see how your district went through this process. Just very intentional in the way of supporting education. But I'm also really impressed by the culture and the sense of community because how are you getting teachers to come on Saturdays and from teachers I know that we're seeing a lot of districts struggle with how to do that professional learning out of the regular school hours. If you could comment on that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I think the climate right now in education, it's really challenging to get PD. We have a teacher shortage. I think everyone in Ontario is facing a similar situation where there are not enough occasional teachers to cover absences. And so pull out PD where we bring staff to our central office for professional development is just not feasible. So we've had to get creative and innovative with how we approach PD. So the lunch and learn has been a model that has been really effective. We cover the cost of lunch. Educators come on their own time to learn about a tool. But I think what makes it so exciting for them is they see the value in it. They see how this can make their lives easier and it's worth investing in them. We emphasize we really emphasize that we want to meet everyone where they are and give them something that at the end of that PD session, they can walk away with and implement immediately. So I think the buzz has really started to kind of have a grassroots movement where one or two teachers start to see a tool or start using a tool, find success with it, and then share that idea or that tool with their colleagues. And then when we come in, then their colleagues have time and they have guided support. We offer follow-up support. And we make it fun and exciting. I always say I have the greatest job in all of the OCSB because I get to work with an incredibly dynamic team, and we get to make learning and professional development as fun as possible. Fred, I can see your questions here. Could you say a bit more about how you ensure privacy, security, and data protection when procuring and using AI technologies in your schools? That is a fantastic question. I mean, I'm very glad that Jeff is here, if he is still actually here and not pulled into another meeting. We have an amazing privacy and security officer at our board, and she reviews any privacy and security, privacy policy as it comes in for one-offs. We have a guided practice to support, or kind of flow chart to support educators in choosing tools that are not on our approved list of tools. And we have a vetting process that includes a DPA for any new technology that we onboard. I hope that answers it. I hope I've sufficiently covered it. It's not my field of expertise, but I do know that that is something that is integral to us in choosing any tool and then putting it on our platform. We don't put anything on our staff website until it has been vetted by our team.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah. And then VASP is fantastic as those come in, but those VASP reports in terms of determining privacy and security risk, sometimes that can speed along the process for us as well. And then your second question, I noted that data analytics and leveraging data for administrative use were among the uses of AI. Could you say a bit more about what kind of data you are leveraging and analyzing with AI? So the examples that are in that AI use case, if you click on any of those, you can actually listen to the video submission for each of them. I believe that for some of them, our superintendents have two really fantastic videos in there. One of them uses it to analyze data and feedback from PD initiatives in order to plan for the future. So to establish goals and priorities moving forward. And I think that that's a really wonderful application because we're taking the data that we get from PD offerings, which can be overwhelming at times, and then we are using it to inform next steps and practices. The other superintendent example that I really love there is comes from our elementary student success superintendent, and she talks about how navigating school improvement plans, or SAPs, is a very challenging and onerous endeavor, but she was able to leverage AI in order to review the school improvement plans or the school achievement plans for the entire elementary collection, and then identify trends and board initiatives to move forward with.
Thank you. I'll check them out.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions here?
I have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Are other schools following your leadership and your model? I mean, you're obviously at the forefront here, and I'm curious to know how much of what you're doing is being watched and emulated by others.
We are big believers in sharing what we do with anyone who may benefit from it. So you'll see that all of the resources that I shared with you today, those are all open source and readily available to other boards. Our Samaritans program is a really good example of that. It has been in place for years, and I recently had the opportunity of presenting and going to TCA in Texas. And while I was there, I met with teachers who were actually using our lessons to support their own digital literacy curriculum. So I think that in sharing and learning from one another, we lift everyone up. And so yeah, definitely open to sharing it. We've also had the privilege of partnering with our vendors and sharing our journey with them. We recently were published, or there was an article recently published about our board in Forbes magazine, and Google Gemini kind of education use case created an article about our experience and how we're leveraging Gemini to support students in our system as well. Richard, you're asking about Code 80 days. Code 80 days, sometimes I forget that our OCSB lingo is not the same as everywhere else. So these are days that principals have for professional development at their discretion. So principals will be creative and they will use kind of a Code 80 to book a supply for the entire day, and then they will have that supply cover several different teachers over the course of the whole day, so that those teachers aren't using their own prep or their own lunch to go and learn about AI, but can rather have a dedicated block of time to go and do some intentional and in-depth learning with a specific tool. And then so does the OCSB reimburse teachers or staff if they purchase elevated accounts for AI apps? At this time, we have a really healthy selection of AI tools available to our educators. So we are not currently reimbursing them for their own purchases. However, when people share with us new AI tools that they are looking to use or that they feel have value, we do meet with those vendors, we evaluate the tool, and we learn about it, sometimes running pilots to explore it in more depth.
That's great. Thank you.
No worries.
You did say that you every staff and student has access to Gemini. Is that correct?
Students 13 plus. So there is like a model of Gemini that is designed for student use. It has a few extra parameters in it, but we have a longstanding relationship with Google and have the, and part of our education contract ensures that nothing that is input into Gemini is used to train the model. There's no human oversight, and we have data security privacies in place with them as well.
And I assume that's a cheaper account? The Google student one?
There's a few different tiers. The Gemini for Education, it is my understanding that that is available freely to all EDU Gemini users. I may be wrong, so I don't want to misspeak. And then we have premium versions that are available. So the Gemini for Workspace is an additional license that we purchase for those in leadership positions.
Thank you so much, Heather. We really appreciate your great storytelling. It's wonderful to see what Ottawa Catholic has been able to achieve over the last couple of years in this space. We really appreciate you sharing all of the wonderful backstories and information and answering questions from the group. Please note that all of these stories are posted on the OECM Professional Learning Series for 24-25. So folks you're welcome to go there. These stories are also posted on the C21 site as well. Now there's more to come, so please keep checking back. On April 16th, we have another wonderful webinar with our friends in New Brunswick, the Anglophone East School District, and they will be talking about how their use case and how they leverage the AI to support their district improvement goals. And then in May, we will be working with Parkland School Division, which is out in Alberta, and we'll be seeing how they did AI in Education, a Canadian district's innovative approach. And their focus is more around the professional learning plan that they did for their educators. And so with that, we want to thank you from both C21 and Dell Technologies as we go through this webinar series. And we hope the learning just keeps happening in AI. So thank you very much, everyone. And please reach out if you have any questions or comments. We're here to support.